I swear you put too many people in the same space for like too many hours in a week, and it becomes like high school all over again. You're just like, all caution goes to the wind.
Well, it's when you spend that much time with someone, there's going to be attraction.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter who it is. Like you can develop sick ass bromances.
Yeah.
Like you can just like you make friends for life working in restaurants,
Absolutely.
or you make enemies for life working in restaurants.
Welcome to Line Check's Battle of the Houses. This is a contest featuring back of house and front of house. These are all service industry and hospitality professionals.
I'm Richie. I've been in the food industry for 10 years. I run a food pop-up collaboration thing called Pink Giant, just pop it up in people's yards, and I'm representing front of house today. Back of house today.
You're back of house, dog.
See?
No, just leave that in.
Yeah, what we do? Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm a slowpoke. I don't know how this game works.
Sir, I think you're confused. I'll do mine real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hey, my name is Sherwood. You guys have seen me on this before. I have been in the industry for 18 years, front of house and back of house, most recently front of house. I am an author and cocktail consultant.
I'm representing back of house. I have an Amber Alert.
Is the customer always right? Describe why or why not.
I mean, I really think it depends. I've had some situations where people come in and they're just so far wrong without even explaining to me what their problem is. They're so far wrong. Just the energy and the attitude. And I think all that comes into play, and people disregard that when they say the customer is always right. So, no.
Customer is always wrong. And I'll tell you why. It's when you're going into an establishment, specifically where you have a beverage director or a head chef that is in charge, right? Those things are being created to specifically harmonize and balance each other out on plates or in cocktails, right? Now, if it's a serious allergy, like I have a nut allergy, great. We'll go ahead and we'll pull the nuts off of it for you. However, don't come in and create your own fucking dish.
Absolutely.
Maybe if you have like a cocktail that you prefer, that's fine. But also don't fucking come in with a cocktail card. I don't know if you've seen these things before, but people have these little cards that are like, Jimmy's Margarita, and it's just specs on how to make Jimmy's Margarita. Fuck that. Shut the fuck up. It's enough.
I agree with that.
Customer's always wrong.
Yeah, no, I think people do get into a habit of, almost bastardizing what places are offering when they start mixing and matching all kinds of crazy. You really want to come in and try the food for what it is presented as and what they intended it to be.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like, people treat music that way. They treat movies that way. They're not coming in going, well, tell the director I said I want it this way. They just enjoy it for what it is. Why can't they do the same thing with food?
My favorite thing that I've run into is like, oh, I'm celiac. I can't have that. Oh, what's the lightest beer you have on tap? And it's like, dude, you can't. No, that's not how it works. There's like,
and I think there's a conversation to be had on, preferences versus, actual necessary needs.
Like life-threatening allergy versus cilantro tastes like soap. Like,
what's the longest shift you've ever worked?
It was a New Year's shift. I got in at 10 a.m.
Okay.
Right, so December 31st, got in at 10 a.m. Clocked out at 6 a.m. January 1st. That I think it was like 18 or 19 hours because I had to get in early. I had to get the bar set up for the specialty cocktails.
Golly.
I had to get all the decorations up because I was the beverage director at that group. And then I had to get all the bartenders up to date on what we're doing. And then when it was all over at 2 a.m., I had to stay back and clean everything up.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a similar experience. I used to work as a bar manager at a restaurant, and for a long time, I was the only bar manager who would open. There were two of us, and I was the only one who ever wanted to open. So I would come in and do that 8 to like 2 or 3 shift, and then he would just not show up for the evening, and then I'd be on for the evening running it and setting them up. So a lot of times I'd be there from 8 to 8, 8 to 9, 8 to 10. And there were days where I'd come in and open, and then I'd be like, well, y'all need help to close, so let me be that good Samaritan. And I hated that.
Same job, right? The same one where I had like the fucking 19-hour shift from hell. There was always a guy that was like, oh, I have to take care of my kid on this one day. And it's like, dude, it's like our busiest day. Like, you're also supposed to be a closing person or an opening person, right? He's like, oh, but I can't. I have church, and I have church with my kid. And I was like, okay, dude, you know what? Whatever. Like, go fucking do it, right? But the way it would end up working was I would have to end up opening and closing 3 days in a row every week. So triple clopens, and then I have to be back at work after closing Sunday night at like midnight to be back at work at 6 a.m. for inventory.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, which is why I'm now a consultant.
Did he ever get his just desserts?
No, even during COVID, like instead of like removing him off the payroll, they just made him the cleaner.
Oh, wow.
So he went, because like he was very good at cleaning. I'll give him that. Very good at cleaning, not very good at bartending.
Was this like more corporate, like a bigger company or something?
No, they had one restaurant, but they thought they were corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Worst coworker you've ever had to work with, name them and why they sucked.
I'm really thinking about that shot because I know exactly who it is. Like they came to my mind instantly. Yeah, fuck them. I worked at this place called the Sugar Factory, and I had this coworker. I think his name was Shakim or Shamik, or I can't remember exactly what his name was, but I just know that every single time he was supposed to be on shift with me, he was not there. And every single time they would be like, oh, we'll go check, because we were in Union Station, DC. So that, we're in the train station. There's all these other shops and stuff. They'd be like, oh, we'll go check up in the staircase, or oh, we'll go check by, the pizza place. Because he knew girls who worked in this part of the mall or this part of the space. So he would always be off fraternizing with somebody else instead of in the store helping me. And I don't know if you've ever been to Sugar Factory, but that's the kind of place where you get swamped fast. So just having him, wander off was the worst. So fuck you wherever you are.
Every fucking person I ever worked with, fuck you guys. Fucking do better.
I didn't have it that bad.
There's this one guy we worked with at the last restaurant, the one where I was the beverage director. And the way he described himself, he was like, oh, I'm the new gay Serbian Madonna, right? And this guy was like the worst fucking person to ever work with, right? He had zero wine education, did not care,
Jesus.
Cared more about his skin and his like shitty bleached hair than he cared about anything else. And this dude would just fucking saunter in 15 to 20 minutes late. He's supposed to be shift lead. He has managerial position, right? We had one shift lead ever and it was him, right? And he was supposed to be like, oh, like, I'm in charge and this is how we're gonna do things. Except when it came to actually do the work, he just wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
So every section was 7 to 10 tables, right? So he would only get 4. So he would take 4 tables so everybody else would have a bigger workload and have to work more, right? Never ran his own food, never cleared his own plates.
Jesus.
And then when it came to tipping out, he wouldn't tip anyone out. And then it progressively got worse and worse and worse. And then at some point, one of the ownership was like, oh, hey, we're gonna produce your music video for you. And they dropped like $15,000 for this guy to get his music video done. And it was one of the worst fucking pieces of shit I have ever fucking seen.
I was just about to ask, was it any good?
I will show, I'll show you after this because it is fucking
that.
miserable. Fuck you, Goico, fucker.
Oh, God.
It was bad. You're gonna laugh your ass off.
I can't wait to see it.
Have you ever been a victim of a bad Yelp review?
Me personally, no. But I've seen the aftermath. I worked at a place that was kind of hybrid. We were beer and wine in the front, and we would do little snacks and stuff upstairs, and then we had a market downstairs. And the market got ripped to shreds in a review, basically saying like the space was dirty and this and that, which wasn't really true, but it's also downtown DC. Like,
Yeah,
if you see a rat, mind your business.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I remember the manager came in and basically said like, oh, that we had this guy Stu above us, and Stu was like the guy to be afraid of, and it was like, oh, Stu's coming in today, something went down, and everyone was on edge. And then Stu came in and basically bitched for 25 minutes about how this Yelp reviewer didn't know what they were talking about. Are you pulling up a Yelp review right now?
Yes, I have this saved on my phone. This is where it gets really good, right? I used to work at like the first job getting into the bar industry. I worked as a door guy to a speakeasy, right? And my job was controlling flow. You had to have proper dress code. You had to be wearing pants, closed-toed shoes or boots or whatever it is, and you had to have a shirt with a collar,
Okay.
right? These guys had just gotten off of the golf course, right? They're like, oh, it's our buddy's birthday. Is there any way you could let us in for one? We'd really appreciate it. We'll get out of here in one drink. We'll be out of your hair, right?
That never
and I was like, all right, as long as it's just one, you guys are totally fine, right? But I was like, please, after one, just make sure you close out and take off. It was like, there's other reservations and people are dressed up and they want to come inside and have an experience. Right. Now, I'm watching the door, kind of making sure everything is happening correctly. And then I notice that they're on their second round, right? And then I walk over to the cocktail waitress and I'm like, hey, like, they're on their second round, right? I was like, they have to leave after one. They're not in proper dress code. And then she was like, okay, cool. Like, they just ordered, so I'll make this one for them and then I'll close them out.
Right.
And then they tried to skip past the waitress and walk up to the bar and order another round. And I was just watching all of this conspire. And I walked over to them and was like, all right, you guys pay your tab, time to go.
Yeah.
And then they got really fucking pissed about it. And this is the Yelp review that I got. And I'm gonna read it because this is fucking incredible. Loads of potential, poor execution. Upon attempting to gain entry, our group was conspicuously sized up by a diminutive mustachioed man who resembled a cross between Saddam Hussein and Reza from the Shahs of Sunset, both in appearance and demeanor. A terrifying blend of flamboyant fascism. Despite admitting us, about an hour later, he saw it fit to question my friend's attire. Nothing that he doesn't tend to admit men wearing shorts, perhaps as a thinly veiled justification to stare at his legs underneath the table. Regardless of his true motivations, he was exceedingly rude in his delivery and seemed rather pleased with himself during the entire exchange. In addition to the terrible customer service, the space was overcrowded, hot, and incredibly loud, to the point where most people in the group abandoned conversation, realizing that it was futile. And while the drinks were fair in quality, the overall atmosphere severely detracted from the experience, making it unlikely that we will return.
Wow.
So
yeah, that one locked in the chamber, ready to go.
Oh, dude, I have it favorited. Like I screenshot it because it got removed like 2 days later because the guy literally called me a fascist.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you kick out mediocre white men that are already drunk off a golf course, and they get really angry and call you a fascist.
Oh man.
Good one.
That's crazy.
Ring the fucking bell. Come on.
Dumbest excuse to get out of work.
Can I get some clarification on this? Is it my dumbest excuse or the dumbest excuse I've heard? My dumbest excuse. Flat tire. And I was like, my tire was not flat. I was just disgustingly hungover. Like, I'm pretty sure I was alcohol poisoned. Just like full send the night before.
Oh man. I feel like people are gonna hate me for mine. I'm gonna get a lot, like people are gonna kick my ass when I tell them this, but I had a friend who was in a car accident and they needed my help. Like they basically called me and were like, hey, like I'm stranded an hour away from you. Like, I don't know what to do. Can you come help me? And I knew my manager wouldn't be like, yeah, it's cool, go help your friend. They'd be like, no, fuck your friend, come to work. So instead I just told them it was my accident.
No, that's fine.
I just sent them the pictures. I was like, yeah, this is me.
Some of the other bad ones I've heard coworkers use is, oh, I had COVID. And then they didn't realize them being like, I have COVID, they're gonna get cut for 2 weeks.
Right, 2 weeks off.
And then they'd be like 3 days later, like, oh, like it wasn't COVID, I'm good. They're like, no, dude, 2 weeks. Like just shit like that, where it's like, You're just fucking yourself over.
Yeah, you asked for this.
Fucking dumbasses. Just come up with better excuses. It's not that hard to be creative. It's really not.
I mean, in 2024, it's looking a lot harder.
No, just come up with, my cat has the measles. I don't know, just come up with something, dude. Like,
I'm the guy who's gonna want to see pictures of the measles on the cat.
he's camera shy.
Apparently. Ooh.
Gotta ring the bell, dude.
Hands off, hands off.
Hey guys, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and click the share button and get this spread out to everyone.
What he said. What's the worst establishment you've worked at? You have to name it and why.
Oh yeah, that one's easy.
Yeah.
The last spot I was running, Angelina's Pizzeria. Fuck you guys. Try to sue me. I dare you. Ownership, one side was cool, one side was not. They couldn't decide what they wanted, and in return, it put a lot of anxiety on the operations officer, who then made it really difficult for everybody else to be able to function, including the chefs, the beverage director, people that were just there working. A lot of like last minute emergency changes.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, like we need this really expensive bottle of wine. And it was like a fucking $3,000 bottle of wine.
Oh God.
And it's like, oh, we need to have that. And then it would just sit there. No one would order it. And it was like, it just sat amongst a collection of other $3,000 bottles of wine that nobody would ever order.
It was a similar story for me at the marketplace was probably mine. And they ran into that a lot, where that guy Stu would come in and just be like, oh, we need to get this brand new hot ticket item. Everybody's gonna want it. Give it 2 months. Everyone's gonna be buying it. And then no one would buy it, and it would sit there for forever. And then we'd get blamed. He'd be like, oh, well, you just didn't sell it.
You didn't know how to sell it.
Yeah. But I think the actual worst place I worked was this juice bar called Drink in DC. In 3 months, I went from working daytime shifts at a location to running a location and working the entire shift at that location every day of the week. So literally Monday through Saturday, I think we were closed on Sundays, I'd be there 9 to 6 every single day. So the only one working.
Miserable life.
Absolutely terrible. And then on the way out, they tried to accuse me of stealing.
Sick.
Their POS went down one day, and they'd always told me to use a square if the POS went down. I used the square, and they said, well, we can't find the receipts, so you must have pocketed that money.
Yeah, because everyone's gonna walk out with cash.
Right, because
Yeah.
I want your $20 for your juice bar. That's what I wanted today, was to take
Dude,
that instead of getting my wage.
Yeah, just pure misery.
Yeah, don't work for shitty people. Work
Work
for yourself.
Yeah, work for yourself.
Yeah, that's
Hot,
the lesson.
hot tip. Don't have a boss. Be your own boss. Ruin your own life. Money, it's not real.
Yeah, fuck that. Can't
Money's
take it
not
with
real.
you.
Yeah.
Can't take it with you.
Yeah. What am I gonna do? Leave money to my cats, dogs? No, it's not real. Spend it while you have it. Never know when it's gonna end.
Oh,
You're busy.
yeah, right. More important things to do.
Okay. Who has the most responsibility in their job duties and why? Give me 1 second. Clarification on this. Are we talking overarching structure of the entire restaurant? So starting from the top?
Oh, between the two of us.
Oh, between probably you. To be honest, I mean, so kind of with me, but all I do is pitch ideas now. So it's a lot easier for me. So all I have to do is be like, here's 10 different margaritas, and then whatever they want, they can just pick and choose it. Yeah. And I don't have to worry about certain things like who's going to end up making it, how easy it is going to be to make, and whatever else the fuck goes on.
Yeah.
But for you, it's much different.
Yeah, I'm running basically a one-man show. You know, I mean, slowly but surely you build out a team, but it's me curating all the menus. It's me, and I think the craziest part of it to me is, you know, I'm walking into a lot of these places just going, hey, you've never seen me before. You don't know who I am. I'm a chef. Can I cook in your kitchen? You know, so it can be weird, but it it is a weird labor of love.
Yeah. No responsibilities, baby.
I'm trying to get on your side. One of these days. One of these days.
No.
Craziest gossip gone wrong.
That's kind of a weird one. Gone wrong in terms of, I'm guessing it probably got somebody fired.
Okay, all right.
I don't know. There's always stories about like servers sleeping around with like all the staff.
Yeah.
Like, I have heard I can't say which restaurant it is, but I have heard stories of a specific restaurant in Orange County where there was like multiple love triangles happening, and like most of the people were married, but these people were working together, and then there was like a sex closet. And then like everyone kind of knew about it, but no one ever knew about it, supposedly. And then all of it got kind of fucked up, and it ended up in like lawsuits and divorces. Yeah.
I swear you put too many people in the same space for like too many hours in a week, and it becomes like high school all over again. You're just like, all caution goes to the wind.
Well, it's when you spend that much time with someone, there's going to be attraction.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter who it is. Like you can develop sick ass bromances.
Yeah.
Like you can just like you make friends for life working in restaurants,
Absolutely.
or you make enemies for life working in restaurants.
No, I had a situation where there was a girl who got pregnant while we were working at the restaurant. They were pretty sure the father was somebody in the restaurant. Came out months later that not only was it not someone who worked at the restaurant, but it was one of our regulars.
Good
She was
for
sleeping
him.
with off the clock, and then
Good for him.
the crux of the story is she ended up like having a mental breakdown and trying to strangle her baby.
Oh,
Went to jail. Yeah.
fucking yikes.
So yeah, that not at all what I expected.
No.
Not at all.
It's
what
a
I expected.
fucking plot twist. I've
Yeah,
never fucking
right?
heard one.
It's coming on Lifetime soon.
Have you ever sabotaged or been a victim? How or why?
Yeah, I've definitely sabotaged, but like, I'm petty, so don't fuck with me. You know, don't put me in that position. I had a cook once who was very much that guy who didn't care what the ticket said, didn't care what modifications were on it. They were gonna send it out however they wanted to send it out, and I was the one catching the slack, and that just pissed me off. I hated, and the other cook was the complete opposite, so I just hated working with this guy. And one day we had and it wasn't an allergy scare, but let's just say I told him it was an allergy scare, and that was the kick in the ass he needed to stop doing that shit. So it worked out, but yeah, it was definitely a sabotage.
I've been a victim.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Somebody who I'm not gonna name tried to have me fired multiple times because he just didn't like me. But ultimately what ended up happening was I was able to fucking turn it around on him. And then we ended up working as a restaurant, as a group. There was like every day, everyone was just sending in complaints about this guy. And then ultimately we were able to get him fired.
Karma's a
But
bitch.
the whole reason he tried to fire me was because I refused to make a Michelada with an IPA. And he like literally was like, just make it. Just make the Michelada. And I was like, I'm not doing it, dude. It's an IPA. You don't make a fucking Michelada with an IPA.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I have drink integrity.
Yeah.
I'm not attaching that to my name. And I was like, if the ticket comes up, you can make it. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and 86 it. As far as anybody knows, we're out of Michelada mix, right? He instantly jumps on Slack and then starts this entire fucking chain about how Sherwood is being insubordinate and refuses to take orders, and I would like to fire him immediately, and this is what's happening, right?
In a brand new Slack chain?
Dude, this is what he
What's
didn't
wrong
this is
with
what he
this
didn't
guy?
know. Right? Before all this happened, because when you are behind the bar and something goes 86,
Yeah.
you send a message to the 3 people that are above you, and you're like, hey, ran out of Pilsners and
Right.
light beers, can't make Michelada anymore, we'll have to 86, right? Everyone said, got it, check mark, whatever, right? So in the computer, I've put it as 86th, so you can't order it, right? We've crossed it on the menus, right? He's losing his fucking mind, and then he starts this entire other thread, and they don't tell him that I already told them, right? So he's like starting this entire fucking fabrication about how I'm being insubordinate. I don't know how to make cocktails. Yeah. Like, I should be fucking fired.
So he's jumping down your throat for something they already
know about. And this is like, it gets so much better because eventually it just comes out. They're like they just let him do his entire spiel, and they're like, yeah, we already knew about that. Like, Sherwood texted us 2 hours ago. Like, we already know. And then he was like, God fucking damn it.
Of course.
Just fucking.
Oh, Uno reverse card played. Yeah. I love it.
It was sick.
Ooh. What's your biggest pet peeve of the other house?
Specifically, when you guys do something wrong and we bring a plate back that says like fries no garlic and it comes out with a bunch of fucking garlic on it, I don't need your fucking attitude after you fucked it up.
Yeah.
Right? No one fucking cares. Shut the fuck up, remake it, give the fries to a server. Doesn't fucking matter. I've seen babies made that way. It's like, if you guys make a mistake on a ticket in the same way that we make a mistake on a ticket, remediate it, dump the fucking attitude.
That shit goes both ways, though. I've dealt with some servers who, I know I rang it incorrectly. And then when I show them the ticket, there's no change of the attitude. You know what I mean? Own up to it. You fucked up. You put the wrong shit on the ticket.
To be fair, I've never had a server throw a fucking pot at me.
Oh yeah.
Like, you guys have fucking anger problems back there, bro. And I don't know what's going on.
That cook's catching charges though. Like that guy.
No, like he didn't hit me because he's terrible at throwing things. Unless it's a fucking fit.
Oh God.
Like, dude, it was like, you'd walk back there and be like, yo, like, can I get a side of ketchup? Fuck you, dude, get your own ketchup. Like, but it's not even just one kitchen. It's like half the fucking kitchens out there. And it comes from the top.
Yeah.
It's like that guy did not help you guys out in the proper way to be able to figure out how to deal with other people that are helping you guys make money.
Yeah. And I think as long as you have a good team unit and everyone's on the same page, you don't run into those problems.
No, unless the whole unit is doing that.
Yeah. Right.
Which I have run into multiple times.
Yeah. Oh God.
That's a wrap.
Hey,
we're done.
Sweet.
Fucking high five.
Yeah.
Little shot ski. Cheers.
Oh yeah.